Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cypher Slacker, and I'm thinking that this is kind of where we go with Pure Neos. So I kind of have the cards arranged in a certain order. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through it. We're going to look at the one card combo. Now, the video that I posted earlier this morning was a 1.5, which was the new Miracle Ejector plus either any Neospatian or any Elemental Hero card in hand to work with Ian Engage Neospace. Here's the thing with that, okay? I don't know if that's going to be the way because here's the thing. For the most competitive list, you're not going to really want to have a lot of other cards in hand. You're going to want to see more hand traps. Um, so actually, I trim the fat a little bit here to get us to a spot where we can play 15 hand traps pretty comfortably in Pure Neos. Never thought I'd say those words. Never thought we'd be able to do that. But here we are. So Stratos is a true one card combo. You normal the Stratos, you get to the Miracle Ejector. You special out the Miracle Ejector, you get to the EN Shuffle. The EN Shuffle gets you to the Spirit of Neos. Spirit of Neos gets you to your Poly. You then go to your Infernal Devicer, get your the other two Neospatians that you need, and then you can even revive the Stratos with the Thunder Giant, further doing more shenanigans. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if we play the Shadow Mist now that we don't have Engage. You know what I mean? We're not playing Ian Engage Neospace. So I mean, I'm gonna keep the Shadow Mist just to kind of have it as like a pitch searcher. But if you want to replace this card with like Liquid Soldier, if you do want to try to like get more draws, or if you want to replace this with like Triple Tactics, and I also cut the Fusion deployment. So that way, here's the thing: if you play Fusion deployment, it locks you out of links. If you get locked out of links, you can't go for Infernal Divisor, thus killing your one card combo. So as good as that card is, I cut it. I had it at 2. I was just messing around with it. I didn't really like it. We were playing a 1 called by the grave. Again, if you feel like you are losing too much to hand traps, feel free to put it back in, but I feel like it's going to kind of throw off the whole feng shui of the engine here. So I think, okay, so let's go through one card combo. Stratos, Hero Lives, Ian, and then Rhoda. So we basically have 10, 1 straight up, straight out of the gate, 10, 1 card starters. True 1 card starters. You don't need anything else in hand to pitch. You don't need anything else in hand at all. You open up any one of these 10, and you're golden. So I definitely think that's why we play her at 2, because you're going to want to search her off of Stratos. Okay. And then we have the Ian Shuffle. Ian Shuffle here is basically a Hero Lives 2.0. If the Stratos that you have on board gets hand trapped, gets ashed, whatever, this is your extender piece. So you're going to then take that Stratos, shuffle it away, try to get to this, or you could get to Spirit of Neos depending on what else is in your hand. But then we have kind of like the one-ofs here. These are the quote-unquote bricks. The Neospatians are always, like I said, you're never going to want to play less than 3 of these guys. 3 is the basement, not the ceiling. 3 is the basement. You can't go less than 3. If you go less than 3, you can't summon Cosmo Neos. You can't play the deck. And I just realized I have the OG Flame Wingman in here. He's not really super needed, but we'll go over the extra deck. So we've got 10 1-card starters. We've got the 5 1.5 card starters, because like I said, if you open up this with any Elemental Hero monster, you just pitch it, and then you can kind of play that way. The bricks, we've got the Neos, we've got the Spirit, we've got Shadow Mist, the Neospatians. Really the only spells that you need, you don't really even need Ian Wave. You don't really need Ian Engage Neospace unless you want to take a more fusion-based route, which I'll put out a deck more that focuses on, I guess, more like casual play. This is kind of like my going for a more competitive list here with 15 hand trap slots. And we can fit it, which is awesome. So we have the Miracle Fusion, we have the Poly, and we have Call By. That's it. We have Favorite Contact. That's it. That's all we need. That's all you need to play the game. You've then got the Mulcharmy Fulos. We've got Droll, Ash, and I have these kind of ordered in order of impact. I mean, you could kind of gauge full Los is a little bit more impactful than Droll, but these are high impact hand traps. We've got six of them guys, three Ash, three Veiler, three Imperm, and you can change these out to hand traps if you're liking. If you prefer to play Nibiru, go ahead. You can't play any of the Dominus cards in this deck because we have way too many attributes running around. We have Wind, Light, Earth, Water. Like you literally cannot play any of the Dominus cards and try to play this deck. It just doesn't work. Um, so you kind of have to stick with more of like some of the OGs on the hand trap variety. But like I said, if you want to play like Nib instead of Veiler, if you feel like having three Veiler or three Imperm is enough, then swap those out for Nibiru. Oh, and I forgot to eliminate the side deck because it's just that's kind of not really needed right now. In no certain order here, we have the Cosmo Neos, we have the Flame Wingman, which, like I said, I don't really think you need the Flame Wingman, but Infernal Devicer, we have the Nebula Neos, we have two copies of Shining, we have Sunrise, we have Thunder Giant, we have Wake Up, and I do have these three here. I don't really even know if we're going to need these three. Because if we're not playing Fusion Deployment, you're not really going to ever go into these. I just don't really know what else to kind of replace them with because we don't have a lot of good elemental heroes, and a lot of these guys you aren't going to want to play at more than one. So I think that's going to kind of be left up to like a future discussion of like what we could either replace these, because like you're without something like instant contact, without fusion deployment, these three kind of have no like use factor. They're pretty much just there because they're pretty. You know what I mean? Absolute Zero. Um, After I made this list, I realized the only water target is Aqua Dolphin, but that's okay. That's okay. You don't really need the Liquid Soldier because we have the Aqua Dolphin. So like typically, what I like to Aqua Dolphin is the piece that I like to leave on the board. I don't like to put Aqua Dolphin in the grave. I typically like to mill either Dark or Grand, and then get Aqua Dolphin to the field, get the hand rip, and then if you want to, you could just make Absolute Zero off of it, and then that puts it in the grave to be used for favorite contact. Um, but yeah, like I said, I feel like I'm gonna actually move this up on the list here and kind of two Shining Neos. I think I don't even know if you need two, but like I said, I don't really like if I cut these four. Like unless we're bridging into like the Omni Hero territory, which I don't really want to do with this deck, I don't really know what to do with these four slots. So that'll come with playtesting, I guess. We'll see what utilities we do need, um, and like kind of how it plays out. But one Infernal Devicer and then one Wonder Driver because now that we're not playing engaged, you have access to both of these guys at all times. So, guys, this is where this video is gonna stop. If you want to see the one card combo, um, which is going to be literally any one of these 10 cards at the top, give me some love, and I'll be back later on today. Play for Soccer out.